Hello everyone, you are welcome to the Tailor's Hub. So in this video, I'll be showing you how to make this one-side lapel corporate dress. I encourage you to watch the video to the end. And if this is your first time on this channel, please like, subscribe, and turn on your notification so you know when a new video is uploaded. Special thanks to everyone that has subscribed. See you in the next slide. All right, welcome back, guys. Okay, so like I told you, we're going to be doing that one-sided lapel style. So the plain material, I'll be using a satin. Okay, but in the style, it's looking as if it's either a crepe or a thick chiffon material. Okay, so this is the available material now. So I'll be using a doll face satin. The first thing I'll do is I'll cut the skirt block first. Okay, so I folded the front first. I'll take out the half length, which is 17. The half length is your shoulder to somewhere above, like about 1 inch above your navel. All right, so I'll take out the half length, which is 17. Then I mark the length, that's 41. The length of the dress is 41. All right, so and I'll add the M allowance, 1.5 inches that will be folded down, then half inch that will be joined to the upper part. Okay, so that's that. So this, I've gotten the length. This is the waistline. Then I go ahead and measure the waist. The waist is 29. That allowance 1 inch, 1.5 inches as the sewing allowance. All right, so now on the waistline as well, I take out the half length again and I measure the hip line. The hip line for this particular dress is 26 inches. The hip line is the fullest part of your hip. That is where you should measure your hip. So now I measure 26, I add half inch. Okay, so now on the hip line, measure your hip. I'll measure the hip. So the hip for this particular dress is 38. If you divide 38 into 4, it gives 9.5. All right, so this is 9.5. Then I add the sewing allowance, 1 inch. Strip it out. Okay, you will notice that it's like a pencil skirt. So what I'll do now is to measure my exact hip measurements without any allowance. Okay, that's how I do it, and it comes out beautifully. And I connect it. So that's about that. Then I go ahead and cut the back. Now let's go ahead and cut the upper bodice. These are the kind of styles that you can do with your pieces Ankara. Like you have a 2 yards Ankara, you can buy a crepe, you can buy chiffon, you can buy a very soft silk or Duchess satin is silky. Okay, you can buy it and match it, sew for a client, sew for yourself, and the rest of it. So I am using a doll face satin. Okay, so now we're cutting the half length. Like I told you earlier, the upper part, the half length is 17. Then I make it 18 inches. I trust you can see it. This is 18 inches. All right, 18 inches. Why is it 18 inches? Because I'll take out half up here. That's the shoulder area. Then I where it's going to be joined to the skirt part, I also take out half inch. Okay, the back for this dress is 14. Now, this is 14, 7. Add sewing allowance. That's for the back. The length of armhole is 8.5. Okay, that's where you are going to curve in your armhole. All right, and then the shoulder to the bust point or to the nipple point, your nipple point. The nipple point for this dress is 10. I make it 10.5. All right, 10.5. Okay, so the under bust is 13. I also make it 13.5 because by the time we hold it up, everything falls back in place. Okay, that's about that for the vertical measurement. Now, on the bust point, measure your bust. I'll measure the bust. The bust is 35. Sewing allowance is 1.5 inches. Right on, I like to shape the waist right from the under bust down to the waistline. It gives it a more fitting. The waist is 29. That allowance is 1 inch. Sewing allowance is 1.5 inches. The total measurement, the that allowance plus the sewing allowance, is about 10 inches. Okay, I go down and place the 10 because the measurement of the waistline is also the same as the underbust for this particular style. Okay, all right, so the neckline, you notice that it's not wide. Okay, the neckline, the width of the neck is, for this dress, I'll make it 3 inches. The depth, I also make it 3 inches. That's 3 by 3. Okay, form an, if you don't have a ruler and you're wondering how you can do this, just form, oh, this is looking like a square. Form an L shape and put an arc. Just draw an arc at the angle of the L here. Draw an arc. Okay, so that's that. It's the same for the armpits. I'll show you when we get there, the armhole rather. Okay, from this neckline and to the end of the shoulder here, connect it after you must have taken out 1 inch here. Okay, so now connect it. That's the shoulder. All right, so now, like I told you for the neckline here, do the same. Make sure down here, as you're measuring, the chest should not be as wide as the shoulder. So that to avoid bulging somewhere around here, to avoid excess fabric here. So you should reduce it, make it exactly, depending on you can measure the chest line of the person. This is for this particular person. Look at it. All right. So on this angle point also, draw an arc. Can you see? We have the armhole. Just draw an arc. You can do it without a ruler. And if you have a ruler, fantastic. Use it. Thank you. So we go ahead and we cut it. The back measurement is the same as the front. Now, the only thing I'm going to do here at the back is to add the zip allowance, which I have already added. Then I'll take out just half inch as the depth of the neckline because I want it to stay on the neck. All right. I want you to see it well. Here is it. All right, that's about that. So now the next thing we are going to do, all right, is to cut the lapel on the front part. Okay, we're going to be doing that with the Ankara fabric. Now, to cut the lapel on the dress, the only thing I did was that I cut the front block of the upper part. You just have to cut another one. I cut another one, only without the neckline. You notice that I did not cut out the neckline. That's about that. So now we go ahead and shape out the lapel. Okay, so let me place it on it for better comprehension. Now, what we need to do here, okay, from those points, this half inch you are going to take in, the half inch you are going to take in here, mark it. Let's measure it. Let's not speculate. Mark out half inch. Okay. So from that half, the points of the half inch, all right. Okay. Take it up. Take out 2.5 inches here. All right. Excuse me. Now, you notice that the lapel starts somewhere around the dart area on the left side, or whichever place you want to place it. On the side where you want to put it, it's on the dart. Now we're going to connect it. All right, we'll connect it from here. All right, that's about, we'll connect. This is where it's going to end. Then we connect it up. Then we cut it. Sorry, I like to shape it a little more at the upper part area. Okay, so now cut it out. Then you have this. This is it. So what we'll do now is to cut the lining. You should use the Ankara as the lining for the lapel, so that by the time you fold it out like this, of course it's the Ankara that should be showing on the flip side of it. So let's go ahead and we'll cut that after this time. Let's cut the sleeve. I want us to cut the sleeve before we go ahead and cut all the linings and add the stays and all. Okay, fold it this way. All right, from this point, measure the length of your sleeve and add about 3 inches. So the length of the sleeve is 16. If I add 3 inches to 16, I have 19. Then sewing allowances, half inch up and down is 1 inch. That gives 20 inches. So this is the length of our sleeve. You come and shape the armhole. Okay, that's that. You shape the armhole. So on this point, you notice that it's a what's it called? It's a free sleeve. It's not fitted. However, it has a loose fitting effect. So the sleeve width for this particular person is 13, which is 6.5. I'll just go ahead and make it 16. Then I add the sewing allowance, which is 1 inch. Then this is it. Ensure to measure what is on your armhole before you go ahead and place the measurement of your armhole. What is here is 10.5. Remember that the allowance on the front block is 1.5. So now by the time I take out 1.5 up, take out half inch up, the remaining will be 8.5. So now what we need for this armhole is 9.5 alone. Is 9.5. So we will not be using 9.5 because it has some kind of plating at the upper part to add a few inches. So now here is 9.5. By the time we take out 1 inch, it comes back to 8.5. Let's make it 12 inches. So we had a little plating up there. Okay, this is our sleeve. The shoulder to the elbow is about 12 inches. Okay, mark this shape. Just have, you don't need to measure it, so to say. Let's maybe the measurement of the bicep. Your bicep is the fullest part of your arm. So maybe somewhere around the bicep and to the elbow, just reduce it by half inch and thereabout, and bring it out a little. Okay, can you see? bring it out a little, then measure your armhole. Sorry, your sleeve length. This is 20 inches round. Sleeve. All right, now, so here is the band for the sleeve. Okay, this is the band for the sleeve. Note that I decided to cut it this way because it's not a very soft material. Hence, I don't want it to be too bogus. So I shaped it by myself. I shaped it a little. If it was a very soft material, I'll leave the flare like that and it will fall by itself. All right, so this is the sleeve. I've added the stay. I've cut the lining. See, the Ankara is also the lining for the lapel. So I've added the stay. Okay, stay for both the lining and the cloth and the interfacing itself. And then this is the bodice. This is the belt on the neckline. And then the band. So let's go ahead and join all together. All right, guys. So as you can see, the skirt part has been joined and ironed. This is the skirt part. This is the skirt part. All right. All right. So this is the sleeve. And then let's round it up with this. I have joined, and by the time I'm through, we're going to iron this place down. But before we do that, I want to show you how we're going to attach the belt on the neck. All right, so now as you can see, I've joined the belt. Then what I did here was that I measured this neckline. Look at it. This is the front. I notched the center of the front. This is the center of the front. I notched it. This is the center, then the shoulder to the shoulder. All right. Okay, so I measured from the zip allowance. I measured it and then left about 1 inch space here. 1 inch space here. I measured it to this point. Why did I leave 1 inch space? So that it will enable me to, or whoever is going to wear the dress, to tie the belt well, without any squeezing. The belt sits well. So now we are going to notch out the 1 inch. I'm going to notch out the 1 inch. All right. All right. So now that I have notched it, here is the belt. I'm going to join it from here. Join it to this point. Okay. Then it stops here. So you can see, it stops here. It stops here. The same thing for the other side. All right. Then I'll use a cutting bias, or I cut the satin in a bias cut and then fold it in. Let's go ahead, and I want you to see it, how I'm going to do that neckline. Then we round it up, join the waist, join the waist, join this place. Okay, we'll join it and then add the sleeve, the zip, and then let's go ahead and join the belt on the neck. Like I showed you earlier, this is how. Place it here. Okay, raise this place up. And then join on the other side as well. All right, so now, like I said, we'll cut a bias cut. If you have a cutting bias, you don't need to do this. Just use the cutting bias and tape the neck. All right. Okay, so So here is it. Use the pieces that we cut out to tape out the neck, the neckline, and here is it. All right. All right, so here is it. Okay, so now we go ahead and add our zip. This is it. All right, we'll go ahead and add the zip, add the sleeve, then join the skirt part. We join the skirt part, of course, first, then we add our zip, and then the sleeve. Then we're already done with the dress. All right, guys. All right, now, so before you iron this place down, ensure you fold well to know the right places. Now I'm saying it in case you are trying this out. Before I'm going to fold it, this is the point. Okay, it's already folded like this, and I fold this place. Okay, so now I go ahead. It just exceeds the armhole line up here just by a little, maybe quarter inch or thereabout. So here is it. We'll go ahead now. We iron it. We iron it out, and the dress is ready. All right, thanks for watching.